You are modding your Qui-Gon team wrong, and I'll explain why. So, given our, let's just assume our Qui-Gon team to be to Qui-Gon, Jedi Knight Anakin, Yoda for the Foresight, Hermit Yoda also for the Foresight, and Barris because whatever. So a lot of people's consensus is obviously because Hermit Yoda and Barris don't attack much, give them health and speed. That's undisputed. But a lot of people in my guild especially are assuming that you should give Qui-Gon, Jedi Knight Anakin, and Yoda offense mods. And a quick read would tell you they gain 30 times offense equal to their speed and more offense, and when Qui-Gon dies, they gain 400% of his offense. You should mod them for offense. And I'm here to tell you why you are incredibly wrong. My what I want to propose to you here is we mod Qui-Gon, JKA, and Yoda for crit damage. And now let me explain to you why. We are gonna take the example of Jedi Knight Anakin, and that's because Jedi Knight Anakin has a unique ability which is very good. Whenever your ally falls between below 50% health or is defeated, you deal 100% more damage next turn, and that's a huge hit. So let's talk about that because that is going to be one of the biggest like tricks for this team is to just one shot the whole enemy. Because I will show you this over here. If I can switch to it, wait a second. Yep, here on Reddit, we have already seen footage of a SLKR team getting absolutely pummeled by Jedi Knight Anakin, as you can see there. Very impressive. So let's make that even more impressive. So if in this example, we're gonna assume that Anakin has an offense of 1 and a speed of 1, and we're gonna assume that he always crits, because quite frankly, crit damage doesn't take place until a guy crits, but my Jedi Knight Anakin's crit damage is 70% without even trying. His crit chance is 70%. So I feel like he's gonna crit more times than he's not, really. So with all the prerequisites out of the way, let's start. First, we're gonna assume that he has been modded for offense. When modded for offense, he gets 15% from an offense set plus 8.5% from the offense triangle. I'm only using the triangle and the set. This is the set, this is triangle. Because that is the only place where you can trade offense for crit damage. So let's do some quick math. He does 1 damage and he gains 23.5 extra percent offense, 1 offense, and 23.5% extra because of obviously he gets from his mods 15 plus 8.5 is equal to 23.5. Look at my writing, it's incredible. So that would give him 1.23 of 1.23 damage, and let's just say Anakin is under a Qui-Gon lead, so 1.23 damage plus 30 times the speed, which is 30 damage. We are ignoring this plus 30 speed because our base speed is so low, 30 speed will just throw a wrench everywhere. Because obviously that would become 60 and that's way too much because that's not realistic, obviously, that your Anakin has 1 speed. So this would give him 31.23 damage, and that being times 2 because Anakin has his unique ability activated makes it 62.5, let's just call it, damage. And obviously because we're assuming crits all the time, that's 62.5 times 1.5, which is the base crit modifier. This is getting a bit messy, let's clean this up. 62.5 times 1.5, That gives us 62 plus 31, 93 damage. Very impressive. Very good, very good, as you can see. But now we're gonna do the same thing for high crit damage. With high crit damage, you will get 40% for your crit damage triangle. I think it's 42, but let's just call it 40. Plus another 30% for your crit damage set and an extra 70% crit damage. So again, your offense will stay at 1 because there are no offense mods. We're not counting secondaries because those stay the same whether or not you have crit damage or not. Plus another 30 for your Qui-Gon lead, 31 times 2 because Anakin is angry. His unique has activated, 62 damage. 62 damage. And with plus 70% extra critical damage, our total crit damage modifier is 220. 220 plus 220%. So let's do the math again. So 62 times 220 will be 124 plus what's that? 12, 136. And if you remember, our calculations for the offense were 62, 62.5, something like that, times only 150, times 150, not 1.5. Sorry, times 1.5. That's exactly what I mean. Yep, times 1.5, making them 93. And if you see, the difference here is immense because of the crit damage modding. The same calculus would apply to Yoda. I'm saying calculus because that sounds cooler. This is just basic arithmetic, really. I know you guys needed me to tell that, but sure. And now, if I can get rid of this wheel, yeah. The same thing would apply for Yoda, but a lot less drastic. Now we come to the matter of Qui-Gon Jinn. Now, Qui-Gon Jinn is a bit interesting because of this clause. When Qui-Gon Jinn dies, they gain 400% of his offense. Now, most characters, if you try to give them good offense, you can reach about 8.2k unless they have a really good offense stat. Now, you would give 8.2k, and without offense mods, let's call it 7k. Now, these numbers are for General Anakin Skywalker because those are the numbers I remember because I fight General Anakin Skywalkers all day, every day. My arena is full with nothing but them. But let's just call these the numbers because the ratio between these is always gonna be the same because mods, mostly big mods are percentage based. Those are the more important mods, so let's just call it the same ratio. So when Qui-Gon Jinn dies, as we saw in the video when they killed SLKR, Qui-Gon Jinn is going to give his team, when he's offense modded, 8.2k times 4 damage, which is what? 32, yeah, 33k damage, which is incredibly high. And then Qui-Gon modded for crit damage would give you 28k damage. So here we see a clear difference of 5k damage, which is incredibly big. But one thing we must consider is your Qui-Gon's damage, like we did the math on Anakin, your Qui-Gon himself is doing less damage. Qui-Gon himself will do less damage, but when he dies, you do more damage. So here I would say it's up to you depending on your Qui-Gon's gear level. For example, I have a gear 1 Qui-Gon. So obviously I am going to mod him for offense if I mod him. But if somebody has a really high relic Qui-Gon, you might want to mod them for offense or crit damage depending on your choice. But my main point was about the modding of Jedi Knight Anakin and Yoda, and I hope you understood what I was trying to say. and have improved your modding as a result. You are welcome to the lecture, and I hope you come to lectures later. Please subscribe for more Swaggo tips and tricks. See you next time.